Rain hit the ground so hard it sounded like the sky was breaking. My shirt stuck to my skin and my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I could barely see her face through the storm, but I could hear every word. I can't live poor forever. Her voice cut through the rain sharper than thunder. I tried to breathe, but my throat locked. So that's it? You're leaving? She stepped back, heels sinking slightly into the wet pavement. You have dreams, but dreams don't pay rent. Behind her, headlights flashed. A sleek black car waited. The driver stepped out, umbrella in hand. I watched her take it. I looked at the small box in my palm. The ring inside glimmered under the streetlight. You said love was enough, I whispered. It was, she said, eyes soft for just a second. Until I saw what enough really looks like. The car door opened. She glanced back once, then looked away. Her reflection faded in the glass as the car pulled off, red taillights blurring through the rain. I stood there, soaked and silent, surrounded by puddles and broken promises. My hand closed around the ring box so tight I felt it dig into my skin. A voice from the cafe doorway called out, "She's gone, man. Let it go." But I couldn't. Something inside me refused. Let it go? No, I would let her go, but not the memory of this night. Not the sound of her walking away. I lifted my head toward the sky, rain mixing with the heat behind my eyes. I'll come back, I whispered. Not to beg. Not to prove love. To prove worth. Years passed. Days bled into nights of work, silence, and drive. I built from nothing, brick by brick, idea by idea, sleepless night after sleepless night. And now, in a glass office overlooking the same coast where she once left me, I sit across from a lawyer. The papers on the table read, Transfer of Ownership, Ocean Pearl Resort. My pen hovers over the line. The lawyer clears his throat. Are you sure you want to go through with this? It's quite a property, I smirk, voice low. I'm very sure. The pen slides. Ink meets paper. My name replaces his. I lean back, exhaling slow. The air smells of salt and old memories. 5 years ago, I couldn't afford a meal. Now I own the resort he once bragged about. My phone buzzes with a message from the manager. New staff orientation tomorrow. Housekeeping starts early. I glance out the window. The sea crashes below. Same sound, same storm energy. Somewhere out there. She's still trying to survive, and she has no idea whose resort she's about to walk into. The marble floor gleamed under the golden light as I stepped into the lobby. The smell of fresh lilies and sea salt filled the air. Every detail, every sound reminded me of what I'd lost here once. Sir, the staff is ready for your welcome briefing, the manager said. I nodded, straightening my tie. Let them wait a few minutes. My gaze drifted toward the far corner, where a woman in a maid's uniform adjusted a vase of orchids. Her hair was tied neatly, but a single strand brushed her cheek. There was something painfully familiar about her movements. The way she tucked that strand behind her ear, the way her shoulders curved slightly inward. I froze. My chest tightened. No, it couldn't be her. She turned, eyes down, holding a silver tray. The world around me fell silent. 5 years. I took a step forward. My shoes echoed sharply on the marble. She didn't look up. The manager spoke again. Sir, would you like to meet the cleaning staff too? Yes, I said quietly. Start with her. She turned at my voice. Her eyes met mine. For a moment, time didn't move. Her lips parted slightly, confusion flickering into realization. The tray trembled in her hands. You, she whispered. I took another step closer. Careful. That tray looks heavy. It slipped. Silver clattered against the marble, water splashing across her shoes. Gasps echoed around us. I looked down at the mess, then back at her. Still dropping things, I see. She bent quickly to clean it, her hands shaking. I'm sorry, sir. I didn't see you there. Sir? The word hit me harder than I expected. I crouched beside her, picking up a broken glass. You don't recognize me, do you? Her voice was soft. I think I do. Our eyes met again. A flash of the past crossed her face. The rain, the streetlight, the night she left. She stood up, breathing unevenly. You can't be. I straightened too, calm, collected. You didn't think I'd come back here, did you? Her throat moved as she swallowed hard. This place it belongs to. To me, I said quietly. The words hung in the air. The staff nearby stopped moving. The sound of the ocean drifted through the open doors, soft but sharp like memory. She shook her head. No, you're lying, I smiled slightly. Ask your manager. The manager stepped forward, hesitating. He's telling the truth. He's the new owner. Mr. Noah just signed the deal last week. Her eyes widened. She took a small step back, like the ground beneath her was shifting. I slipped my hands into my pockets, forcing my tone to stay casual. Welcome to Ocean Pearl Resort. Please make sure my office is spotless, her breath caught. You own this place? I looked at her once more, holding that silence long enough for her to feel it. Then I turned toward the elevator. Yes, and I expect everything to be cleaned properly, starting now. The doors closed behind me, sealing her stunned reflection in the gold metal. The smell of lemon polish filled my office. She was there again, moving quietly, wiping down the edge of my desk. Her hands were careful, but I could see the tremor in her fingers. I kept my eyes on the paperwork in front of me. You missed a spot, I said. Her voice was low. Where? I pointed without looking up. Right there. Near the frame. She moved closer, her sleeve brushing my arm as she leaned over. My body stiffened. The scent of her shampoo hit me like a memory I didn't want. I didn't expect to see you again, she said softly. I looked up. Yet here you are, her eyes glistened. I wanted to say something that night in the lobby. I cut her off. Don't! We both said enough 5 years ago. She swallowed hard and nodded. Yes, sir, that word again. Sir. It twisted inside me. When she left, the air felt colder. I stared at the desk she had cleaned, now shining like nothing ever happened. But I couldn't erase the fingerprints she'd left on my chest years ago. Later that evening, I walked past the laundry room. I heard muffled sobs. She was sitting on the floor, hugging her knees, uniform soaked with detergent stains. I paused at the doorway. Is this how the rich life turned out? I asked. She looked up startled. Her eyes were red. You think I don't know what I deserve? I think you finally do. She stood, wiping her tears with the back of her hand. You don't know everything. Then tell me, I said, voice sharp. Why him? Why not me? She shook her head. You wouldn't understand. Try me. She pressed her lips together, grabbed the laundry basket, and walked past me. Her shoulder brushed mine, leaving the faint warmth of something that used to feel like home. I didn't follow her. Not yet. Hours later, the rain started. I found her outside, sitting on the back steps, hair dripping, arms wrapped around herself. You'll catch a cold, I said. She didn't look up. You care? I took off my jacket and dropped it beside her. Not as much as before, but enough. The rain hit my skin, cold and clean. I crouched down beside her, close enough to feel her breath. Tell me something, I said quietly. Do you regret choosing him? She turned her face toward me, rain sliding down her cheek like tears. He never loved me, she whispered. The sound of it broke something deep inside me. Lightning flashed. The storm swallowed her words, but they stayed in my chest. I looked at her one last time before standing. My heart said reach for her. My pride said walk away. For the first time, I wasn't sure which voice would win. The night was quiet except for the sound of rain hitting the windows. I stayed late, the office light dim, a single candle flickering beside my desk. I was trying to focus on reports, but my mind kept replaying her face, that look when she said he never loved her. The door creaked open. I didn't look up, sir, she said softly. The manager asked me to clean this room before closing. Her voice still carried that mix of caution and regret. Go ahead, I said. Just don't touch anything on my desk. She moved quietly, the faint scent of soap and rain following her. I kept pretending to read. But then I heard her pause. What's this? I turned. She was holding a black sketchbook, one I hadn't opened in years. My pulse quickened. Put that down, I said. She hesitated. You drew these? She flipped a page. Her face appeared in pencil lines, sketched in soft shadow and light, the way I remembered her before she left. Laughing, dreaming, mine. Her fingers traced the paper gently. You kept them. I stood, trying to sound cold. They're just drawings. No, they're not, she said. You drew me like you still cared. I stepped closer, closing the sketchbook with a sharp thud. You're mistaken. She looked up, eyes shining in the candlelight. Then why do your hands shake when you lie? I froze. She took a breath. Adrian left me, you know. Said I was just another accessory. My mother got sick after that. I've been cleaning rooms ever since, her voice cracked. Every time I thought of asking you for help, I stopped myself. I didn't deserve it. The words hit harder than I wanted to admit. I turned away, gripping the edge of my desk. Life catches up with everyone, I said quietly. Even you. She moved closer, her reflection trembling in the glass behind my desk. I'm not asking for pity. I just wanted you to know. I felt her hand brush mine, light as breath. My pulse stumbled. Don't, I said, stepping back. You lost the right to reach for me. The silence between us burned. Her lips parted, as if she wanted to argue, but she didn't. She just stood there, candlelight painting tears down her cheeks. I swallowed hard. Finish cleaning and go home. She nodded, wiping her face, but her hands trembled as she picked up the cloth. I turned toward the window to hide the storm inside me. Then, a voice cut through the quiet. Well, this is cozy. I spun around. He stood at the door, smirking. The same tailored arrogance I remembered, now shadowed by bitterness. Adrian. His gaze flicked between us, landing on her tear-streaked face, then on the sketchbook still lying open. So, this is where you've been hiding? Lara. Her breath hitched, my jaw tightened. The candle flickered. The past had just walked back into the room. His voice filled my office before I even looked up. You think you can steal my resort and get away with it? I set my pen down slowly. Adrian stood in front of my desk, soaked from the storm outside, eyes sharp with hate. I didn't steal anything, I said. You lost it, he smirked. To you, the waiter who used to serve me drinks. I leaned back in my chair, calm on the surface, fire underneath. Funny how things turn out. He stepped closer. You think this makes you better than me? She told me everything, you know. How you still look at her. My jaw tightened. Leave her out of this, he laughed. She's already in it. You took my resort. Don't take my woman, too. She stopped being yours when you threw her away. The air between us snapped. For a moment, I thought he'd swing at me, but he didn't. He just smiled, slow and cruel. Then maybe I'll take her again. Let's see how loyal she is when I remind her what she owes me. Before I could react, he turned and walked out. I followed him to the hallway, voice low and sharp. Touch her and I'll ruin you. He glanced over his shoulder. Too late for that, friend. You already did. The door slammed. Hours later, I found her behind the service hallway, sitting on the floor, hugging her knees. The storm outside threw flashes of white light through the narrow window. You talked to him, I said. She looked up, startled. He came to me first. What did he say? She hesitated. He said he'd hurt you, that he'd tell everyone lies about how you got the resort. I stepped closer. And you believe him? No. Her voice broke. But I told him I'd go back if it meant he'd leave you alone. The words hit like a punch. You what? Tears slid down her face. I didn't want him to destroy everything you built. I crouched in front of her, gripping her shoulders. You think I care about that more than you? Her breath trembled. You should. You deserve peace. I deserve the truth, I said. She closed her eyes. I'm tired of running, Noah. I'm tired of being punished for one mistake. The sound of her saying my name again after all this time shattered the last of my anger. I pulled her into my arms before I could stop myself. She didn't resist. She just fell against me, her face buried in my chest, her body trembling. I'm sorry, she whispered. I held her tighter. I know. The storm roared outside. The lights flickered. Her fingers gripped my shirt. Our faces were inches apart. I could feel her breath, warm and uneven. She looked up. For a second, everything in me leaned forward. Then a voice called from the hallway. Sir, the power's gone out. Are you in there? She stepped back quickly, wiping her tears. I should go, she said. I nodded, though every part of me wanted to stop her. Get some rest. She walked away, head low, the sound of her shoes fading with the thunder. I turned toward the window. Lightning flashed, and through the reflection, I caught a shadow at the corner of the courtyard. A phone camera lowered. Adrian. He was smiling. The rumors hit faster than the storm that followed them. She seduced him for her job back. She always was like that, wasn't she? Their whispers crawled through the resort halls like poison. Every time I walked past, voices fell silent. Eyes turned away. But I heard enough to know who started it. Adrian. By the afternoon, Lara was called into HR. By evening, she was suspended. I found her in the staff quarters, folding her uniform with trembling hands. Her eyes were swollen, her lips pale. "I didn't do it," she said quietly. "I know." They looked at me like I was filth. "You don't have to explain," I said. Though my chest burned, she stopped packing, staring at the floor. "You shouldn't have defended me." "They'll say it's true. Let them," I said. "The truth doesn't need their approval," her voice cracked. The truth ruined me once. I wanted to tell her she wasn't alone anymore. But all that came out was, "Stay." She shook her head. "I can't." Her hand brushed mine when she zipped her bag. That small touch felt heavier than all the silence between us. "Goodbye, Noah." When she walked away, something in me snapped. By nightfall, I found Adrian exactly where I expected. Sitting at the bar, laughing, surrounded by empty glasses and fake friends. I walked straight to him. "You did this," he raised a brow. "Did what? Speak the truth?" I grabbed his collar. "You destroyed her life once. Now you're doing it again," he laughed, calm as ever. "She destroyed her own life when she chose me." "She didn't choose you. You used her." He leaned closer, his breath thick with alcohol. "And you're different? You think she's here because she loves you?" "She's here because you have what I lost. Power." I slammed him against the counter. Bottles rattled, a glass shattered on the floor. "Say her name again," I said. He smirked. "Lara!" My fist connected with his jaw. The sound cracked through the bar. His drink spilled, red as the blood that slid from my lip when he hit back. "You think you're her savior," he said, wiping his mouth. "But she's a survivor. She'll choose money again. She always does." I froze. His words dug deep, sharp, and cruel. "You don't know her," I said quietly. He tilted his head. "Don't I?" For a moment, I saw the man I used to fear. Rich, untouchable, smirking through every sin. Then I saw what he really was. Broken, bitter, pathetic. I turned away, chest heaving. "Stay away from her," he laughed behind me. "If she's smart, she'll stay away from you." I walked out before I did something worse. Rain hammered against the windows, lightning flashing behind the palm trees. My knuckles stung, my shirt clung to my skin, but I didn't care. I just needed to see her. The next morning, her door was open. Her bed was made. The closet was empty. A single note sat on the table. 3 words. "I'm sorry, Noah." The storm outside finally stopped. But inside me, it only began. The rain returned the night I found her letter. It wasn't in her room or her locker. It was in the resort's lost and found box, folded neatly, my name written in her soft handwriting. I stood under the yellow light of the lobby, the sound of rain hitting the glass behind me, and opened it with shaking hands. "Noah, I didn't leave you for money. I left because I was scared. Adrian knew about your father's debts. He said if I didn't go with him, he'd ruin you. I thought I was protecting you. I was wrong. I'm sorry." My throat tightened. She hadn't betrayed me. She'd sacrificed herself. All this time, I'd been building a life just to prove her wrong. But she hadn't been my enemy. I had been hers. I ran outside before I could think. The sky opened up, cold and wild. The rain soaked my shirt, blurred the headlights as I jumped into my car. The road stretched into blackness, lined with flickering lamps and the taste of regret on my tongue. Every mile I drove, her voice filled my head. The way she used to laugh when I called her clumsy. The way she looked back the night she walked away.
The way she whispered, "You'll hate me someday." I whispered into the dark, "I already did."
And I shouldn't have. The wipers struggled against the storm as I reached the highway. Thunder cracked above the cliffs. My chest felt tight, my hands stiff around the wheel. I wasn't chasing revenge anymore. I was chasing forgiveness. Halfway through the night, I stopped for gas. The cashier looked up at my soaked clothes. "Long drive?" he asked. "Too long," I said. "Do you know a small seaside cafe around here? Old wooden sign near the docks." He nodded. "Opens early. You'll find it by dawn." I thanked him and kept driving. The rain eased into a soft drizzle as the horizon turned gray. Waves crashed somewhere beyond the fog. When I reached the cafe, it looked like it had been forgotten by time. Small windows glowing faintly, chairs stacked outside. I parked and stepped out. My shoes sank into wet sand. Through the window I saw her, Lara. She was wiping tables, her hair tied back, wearing a faded apron. She looked thinner, older, but still her. Still the girl I'd loved before everything broke. For a moment, I couldn't move. Then she looked up. Our eyes met through the glass. The rag slipped from her hand, her lips parted, but no sound came. My heartbeat drowned out the waves. After years of anger, silence, and lies, there she was, the girl who once left me in the rain, now standing in it again. The morning light spilled across the sea when I walked into the cafe, the same one where I'd found her again. She stood behind the counter, her hands covered in flour, hair pulled back, sunlight catching the curve of her cheek. "I bought this place," I said quietly. She froze. "What?" I placed the papers on the counter. "It's mine now. Or ours if you'll stay." Her eyes widened. "No, I can't. Not after everything. You shouldn't even be here." "I didn't come to talk about the past," I said. "I came to build something new." She shook her head. "You don't understand. Every time I see you, I remember what I ruined." "You didn't ruin anything," I said. "We both got lost. Now I want us to find our way back." Her voice trembled. "You think forgiveness is that easy?" "No, but love makes it possible." Silence filled the space. Only the sound of the waves outside. I reached out and took her hand. It was cold, fragile. "Let's build something that isn't made of pain." Tears welled in her eyes. "Noah, I never stopped loving you." My chest tightened. All the years I spent resenting her, chasing revenge, suddenly felt small compared to this moment. She leaned forward, her voice breaking. "I wake up every day wishing I could undo it all. The lies, the fear. I thought leaving you would save you, but it only broke us both." I wiped a tear from her cheek. "Then let's stop breaking." Outside, the sea shimmered gold under the setting sun. The light poured through the windows, wrapping her in warmth. I kissed her forehead, gentle and slow. It wasn't a kiss of victory. It was a promise. She smiled for the first time in years. "What now?" "Now," I said. "We make this place ours." She nodded, then laughed softly. "You always find a way to surprise me," I smiled back. "You have no idea." A week later, the resort buzzed again. Guests filled the lobby. Laughter replaced whispers. Laura's name was on the co-owner plaque beside mine. I watched her greet a family at the counter, confident, radiant. The woman she was meant to be. Then the doors opened. A man walked in, dragging 2 suitcases. His suit was wrinkled, his eyes tired. Adrian. He didn't look at me until I stepped forward. His face twisted with disbelief. "You work here now?" I asked. He glared. "I'm a guest," I smiled. "Then welcome to Ocean Pearl. I hope your stay is enlightening." He turned away, shoulders tense, pride shattered. As he disappeared into the hallway, I looked toward the sea. Lara joined me, her hand slipping into mine. "Are you okay?" she whispered. I nodded. "More than I've ever been." We stood there, watching the sunset bathe the resort in gold. "Funny," I said, my voice calm, almost a whisper. "Life always cleans up its own mess."